name is Montana. I work at USA Summer Camp. And basically what I want to do today is just tell you about the opportunity we have here at USA Summer Camp, and just basically kind of tell you about what you can get up to in the summer working at a camp and kind of how it works. So the presentation is probably take maybe 20 to 30 minutes, and at the end then there'll be some time for you guys to ask any questions if you do have any. Just to kind of get started, like, who are we here at USA Summer Camp? So we were established back in 2007 by our two directors. They've both been out to camp themselves for years and years and years. They absolutely loved it. They've been kind of in their camps, they've grown up there, they kind of progressed their careers there, and they wanted to make camp accessible to everyone, especially to students. They wanted to make it as easy as possible for students to get out to camp, and they wanted to get you out to camp as cheaply as possible as well, and to get you paid the highest wage while you're out there as well. And camp in America, it really is like the movies. So if you've ever seen like Camp Rock or Parent Trap, my personal favourite camp movie, it really is like that. You know, the kids go away for kind of 8 to 10 weeks in the summer. It's a great way for the children to kind of grow, you know, find out who they are themselves, meet new friends, and really kind of like get their own personalities, and really build their confidence. It's a real big tradition out in America as well. Literally every single child will go to camp at some point in their childhood. Lots of the time, the kids will go to the same camp that their parents went to. Lots of time, parents meet at camp, and that's where they kind of fall in love. And it's a real kind of generation thing, and it's a massive tradition. And going out to camp for you guys, though, it's a great chance for you to meet new people. Camps hire staff from all over the world. You know, they'll hire from the UK, from Ireland, from Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, South America, literally everywhere. So you're going to make friends from all over. So you're going to have that opportunity then, once you finish working at camp, not only to travel around America, which you get 30 days to travel around America, but then after that, the possibilities of travel are literally endless, because you'll have made all of these friends from literally all over the world, and then you get to go and travel to meet them. Personally, my best friends from camp, I wasn't very strategic now when making my friends out at camp. My best friends I made out at camp were girls from Ireland. So the fanciest place I've got to go visiting people out at camp has been Leitrim. But some of my other friends, you know, live in Australia and places like that. So it's definitely where I kind of want to go next. But it's also a great way for you to have an adventure, and have an incredible summer, you know, working out in America rather than just working here in England. You're just going to have more fun than any of your friends who are working in England for the summer. You could just go to the next slide for me, that'd be great.
Is that okay there?
Perfect, yeah, thank you. So the program that we offer, it really is going to be the best summer of your life. Now, this is something that I can definitely attest to here. I've actually done the program now for the last 3 years, and I will do it for as long as camp will have me. I absolutely love my job out at camp. I started off as a camp counsellor my first summer, and then I progressed into a senior counsellor. And now I've kind of even progressed even further, and now I kind of do programming out at camp. But going out to camp for me has been incredible. Like I said, I've made amazing friends, really kind of grown as a person, learnt life lessons that I really just wouldn't have learnt anywhere else. And I've just absolutely loved all of my time out there. I've made friends from all over, and it's just been the best experience ever. All your food and accommodations included while you're out at camp as well. And you're also going to get the highest wages guaranteed. So compared to any other agency, you're going to get paid the most out at camp going with us. And you'll earn a minimum of $2,000 working out at camp. But because all your food and accommodations included, you're really not spending a lot of money while you're out there. Maybe on like your days off, you know, sometimes we would go maybe to like the local town. By my camp, we have like a water park. So sometimes on our days off, we go to the water park, spend a little bit of money there, But a lot of the time we kind of just keep our costs as low as possible, so we could use all of our money for the travelling after camp. Now in America, they don't have any form of like NHS or anything like that. So all your health insurance is included. So God forbid you should need it, you'll be able to use your health insurance. And to work in the US, you do need to obtain, it's called a J1 visa. And we will help you in terms of obtaining that visa. We have all the paperwork that you need and all the guidelines for you to follow in terms of obtaining that. And we actually sponsor that visa for you as well. And all you'll have to do is just go to the embassy. So there's an embassy in like Belfast and there's one in London as well. And you'll go up to the embassy, probably wait in a queue for 2 hours. It's probably the worst part about it, to be honest. You'll go to a desk and probably chat to somebody for about 10 minutes. They'll ask you a couple of questions, what are you doing out at camp? What are you doing out in America? Sorry, you'll say, I'm going to camp. They'll ask you, are you going to come home? And you have to say yes. And that is literally it. They'll stamp your passport and you'll get it back in the post in usually like 10 days. So really, really easy, just a little bit tedious, but so worth it. As well, then you do get them 30 days to travel after you finish working at camp. Obviously, amazing opportunity for you to explore America. And like I said, because you're getting that $2,000 and you're not really spending a lot of it, you can use all of that money really for your traveling after camp. You're also going to get 24-hour support during your summer as well. So there'll be a number that you can ring at any time during the summer should you need to, and somebody will answer that call and help you in any way that you do need. Before you go out to camp as well, you'll have all of our support in the office. So everyone in our office has been out to camp at least twice. Most of us have been kind of 3 or 4 times. So anything you need, any questions you have, even if you just want to know whether you should bring a suitcase or a backpack, we'll be able to answer those questions for you. Questions like that, though, everyone will probably give you a different answer. I personally think you should bring a suitcase, though, but some people might say backpack. And in terms of kind of the different jobs you can do out at camp, there really is a job for everyone. We have thousands of jobs. We work with over 600 camps all across America, and these camps are desperately looking to hire international staff. They love hiring staff from, all over the world because we bring something to camp that American staff just don't have. We bring that international culture. It's great for the children to get to experience. But whatever you're interested in doing, you can do that out at camp. As if you are interested in sports or water sports, arts and crafts, maybe you like gymnastics, I don't know, you might like yoga, you might like archery, whatever it is, you can do that out at camp. We kind of have 3 main roles you can get involved with. So we have the camp counsellor role, the activity leader role, and the support staff role. So the camp counsellor role is what I've done for the last 3 summers. It is incredibly fun. So I basically, I would say my job really is just being a big kid. Essentially, whatever the kids are doing, I'm doing. So if the kids are making paper mache hats, I'm making a paper mache hat. If the kids are doing, I don't know, like you can see in the picture, the giant inflatables on the water, I'm doing that too. If the kids are doing archery, I'm doing archery. Whatever the kids are doing, I'm doing. I'm just getting involved with them, having loads and loads of fun. Really encouraging the kids who maybe are a little bit shyer, who don't want to do things, making sure they're taking turns, all that kind of fun stuff. But it's a really, really fun role, and you just kind of get to try everything. The activity leader role is more if you have something you're really, really passionate about and you absolutely love. So like the things like sports, water sports, arts and crafts, performing arts, outdoor adventure, all those different things. So for example, one of my friends out at camp, she would be our gymnastics instructor. So her day would be, she might have, say, some of the youngest children in the morning, so she'd do more kind of basic things with them. And then in the afternoon, she might have the older children, so she'd obviously do more kind of advanced things with them. And then in between those, she might have some time off, and then she could come and join my group of kids and do something completely different, say if we're doing, I don't know, swimming. So then she still kind of gets to do the best of everything, but we'll see all of the children at camp, whereas I have, say, a set group of kids. So my set group of kids are the same for the whole summer. So I get to know my group of children really, really well. And the support staff role is more if you're kind of thinking, oh, like I love the idea of going to America for the summer, working at a camp, but I don't know if I really like kids. That is absolutely fine. You know, not everybody does love working with children. If that is the case for yourself, the support staff role might be the one for you. Support staff role is more kind of behind the scenes. So you would be working in usually either like an office or the kitchens or kind of in maintenance. So you could either be doing like paperwork, filing, you know, phone calls, doing the dishes, preparing food, making sure camp is looking great, mowing the lawn, things like that. So you just wouldn't be working with the children as much. It's more of a kind of classic 9 to 5 job that you could probably do here in England. So it's really kind of whatever you want to do. But like I said, no matter what you want to do, we can kind of get you out to camp and get you doing something that you're going to love for the summer. Go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So, like I said, we work with over 600 camps all across America, but we also work with lots of different types of camps as well. So these are just some of the ones listed. So your overnight traditional camp, that is kind of the most common type of camp that we work with. And this is the kind of camp that you would think of when you maybe think of a camp. So it's kind of like the Parent Trap vibe. The kids stay overnight and they'll do kind of lots of different activities in the day. And then maybe in the evening, the whole camp will join together and do one big group activity. So that might be a talent show, it might be movie night, it could be s'mores and I don't know, s'mores and movie night, or s'mores and I don't know, anything night. Lots of different activities. It could be colour war, where the whole camp splits into, at my camp it's like blue versus yellow, and you do big like events and games and tug of war and loads of different things. But it's really, really fun. Different activities, and when you're on the blue team you do not speak to the yellow team. It's a really fun week out at camp. Your day camps are very, very similar to your overnight camps. The only difference really is just that at a day camp the kids just don't stay overnight. Because of this, the kids do tend to run a little bit younger. So at a day camp the age range is usually kind of 2 to 11. Where at overnight traditional camp, the age range is usually kind of 6 to 7 up until 15, 16. So my camp is a day camp. So because the kids don't stay overnight, they obviously have to get to and from camp every day. So I would like get on a big yellow school bus in the morning and go in to pick my kids up. I don't drive, like I have a bus driver, but I would go pick the kids up in the morning from their houses. They'd all get on my bus. My bus driver would drive them to camp, and then they'd all get off, and then in the afternoon they get back on the bus and go home again, which is a really fun part as well. Underprivileged camps are the exact same as your kind of overnight traditional camps. Only difference is these kind of camps, the children attending these camps wouldn't necessarily be able to go out to camp without kind of funding from the government or scholarships, things like that. We also have a lot of people coming to us who want to work with children with special needs and kind of gain that experience. If that is something you're interested in, we can absolutely make that happen for yourself. We also have kind of specialty camps where they'll focus on one area in particular. So that could be like a camp that, say, focuses on tennis predominantly. So they might do maybe the whole morning would be completely focused on tennis, and then the afternoon, then they do lots of different activities. But you know, unless you are like a tennis expert and you absolutely love and live and breathe tennis, we're not going to send you to that camp because odds are you're probably not going to love it. And that's how the placement team works. So when your application is ready to kind of go out to camps, the application, like the placement team will look at everything on your application, including the kind of type of camps that you've selected that you're interested in working at. And then they will match you up with camps where they think you're going to be a great fit. So it's not just like a random selection process where they'll just like throw you at a random camp and be like, oh, look there. They'll match you up with a camp where they think you'll be a great fit. And then that camp will reach out to you for like an interview. You'll usually have that call over like Zoom or Skype or something like that. And you'll talk to that camp and, you know, hopefully that's a great connection and perfect, you got your dream job. Great. Go to the next slide. Thank you. So the process of getting out to camp, we have tried to make it as simple as possible for yourselves. You guys are students, you've got a lot going on. The last thing you need is to be kind of worrying about this. So we kind of do all the hard work for you. So the first thing you need to do is make an application online. You can do that on our website, which is usasummercamp.com. Then we'll get you booked in for a over the phone interview. This will be just like a really simple chat with ourselves, really informal, just kind of getting to know you, making sure we can definitely get you out to camp, answering any questions that you have. Then once we can definitely, 100% guarantee your placement out at camp, you're on the program, then it's just getting your application ready to get out in front of camps. So it's a case of kind of getting like references, getting everything on your application looking great. Then, like I said, when your application's ready, the placement team will start matching you up with camps where they think you're going to be a great fit, and they'll look at everything on your application, including your like hobbies, your interests, your availability dates, the type of camps you're interested in working at, and all that kind of stuff. And the placement team works really hard to match you up with camps where you're going to be a great fit, and they always do a great job. Then once you've been hired and you've got your dream job, then it's just a case of getting your kind of visa and your travel sorted. So with the visa, like I said, it's just a case of getting going to the embassy and kind of waiting in that annoying queue and then getting that sorted. With the travel, we do offer the 2 different packages in terms of your flights, which we'll talk about a little bit later. If we're booking your flights for you, we'll obviously get them sorted. And if you're booking your own flights, once you're hired at a camp, the camp will give you your travel to camp instructions, and it will just be a case of you booking your flights, but we will obviously make sure they're all okay and check everything for yourself. Then all we have to do is literally just fly to America and have your amazing summer. And then it's just a case of you're traveling after camp for 30 days. And then after that, unfortunately, after 30 days, you do have to come back home. But you can always go back to camp next summer. And like I said, like me, just go back every single summer until they won't have you anymore. So there are 2 different packages that we offer. So we offer the own flights package and the flights included package. So the flights included package, it's £629, and the own flights package, it's £449. So I have always got my own flights, and that is definitely what I recommend. So first of all, just in terms of like cost to us, the own flights package is cheaper. But in terms of then what you earn out at camp, you are going to earn more money when booking your own flights. So if we book your flights for you, you'll earn a minimum of $1,200 for the summer. Whereas if you book your own flights, you're going to earn a minimum of $2,000. So just there, it's an $800 difference. Realistically, no flight is going to cost that much unless you're kind of planning on flying first class, which fair enough. But my flight last summer, I flew into JFK because my camp's in New York. My flight was £350 return. So you can get really, really cheap flights. And when you're placed at a camp will usually put you into like a WhatsApp chat or a Facebook group chat or something like that, where you can start talking to other people placed at your camp. And you can then kind of message them and see, what flight they're on. What usually happens is like a returner will book their flight and be like, I'm on this flight from wherever. And then everyone tends to just book the same flight. So then you can be on the same flight as people going to your camp, and then you'll all be at the airport together, and then camp will pick you up from the airport anyway. With both of the packages though, you are getting that guaranteed job. So if we have that telephone interview with you and we say, yep, 100% we can get you out to camp, that is 100% guarantee. Then 100% we will get you to America and get you to camp for the summer. You're also getting your visa sponsorship included. You're also getting your health insurance, your accommodation, and your food included. You're getting the 30 days added onto your visa at the end of camp. And with your own flights package, you are getting that $2,000 wage, which is the highest of any camp agency. With this program, there are a couple of third-party costs that we have no control over, but obviously we want to let you know. So with the embassy appointment, you do have to book that embassy appointment yourself. We can't do it for you, and there is a charge to book that embassy appointment. It costs $160, so that's roughly £130. And then your police check, obviously you're going to be working with children all summer, you have to have a police check. The police check does cost £75. And then with your medical check, so that's just like something the doctor verifies, you call it like a health history check. That is usually free. I've never had to pay for mine, but in some circumstances, some doctors in the past have charged people kind of £25 to £30. So we do just always kind of like to mention it just in case. But most of the time that is free. Perfect, thank you. So the reason that we do these talks to students really is just because this program is perfect for students. First of all, it's because you have the summer off. So camps in America, they do run in the summer period that you have off. They usually run from kind of the beginning to middle of June time to the middle to end of August time. So it's a perfect fit, really. It's also a great addition to your CV. So before I started working full-time at USA Summer Camp, every single job I like interviewed for or like applied for, they all asked me about like, oh, you went and worked at camp in New York, like tell me about that. It's so interesting because it's not something that everyone's going to do, and it does definitely kind of make you stand out. So it's definitely just a good one to have. Definitely a great way to get that international work experience, and a great way for you to kind of enjoy a different culture as well. And not just American culture, but because you'll be working with people from all over, you get to enjoy lots of different cultures. It's also a great way for you to improve your independence and your confidence, and improve your adaptability skills as well. Before I went to camp, I was really, really shy. I remember, I always tell people this, my first summer, when I like got onto the plane, I cried because I was so scared, and I was like, I cannot do this, I am not ready. And to think back to that now, I'm literally a different person, and that is just because of going to camp and kind of finding my confidence and really kind of just finding who I am from going out to camp. But it also as well is that perfect opportunity to travel. And it's also obviously just a great way for you to make all of your friends and family jealous for the summer. So yeah, definitely the traveling after camp now, that is kind of the best part about the program. And it is the original reason I went out to camp. Like the reason I kind of returned and keep going back is because I love my job, I love my camp. But the reason I went originally was because I wanted to travel and I wanted to go to America. And these are just some of the kind of examples of places you can go. You've got New York, Miami, California, Las Vegas. You could go to Yosemite, do Route 66. But it's completely up to you. Those 30 days are yours. You can do whatever you like in that time. You don't have to do the full 30 days. You might want to do 2 weeks. On average, people tend to do kind of 2 to 3 weeks maximum. Some people do the full 30 days. I tend to always do like around a week or 2 weeks, especially now when I have to kind of get back for work. But kind of between all my summers, I've been able to kind of go to some amazing places. So I've been to New York, I've been to Florida, I've been to Jersey, I've been to Washington, DC, I've been to Boston, I've been to Connecticut, and most recently I went to Nashville. All amazing places that I absolutely loved. I would recommend every single one of them. But definitely, America's so big that I still have so many places to tick off my list. But in terms of like what some of my friends have done after camp, this summer, 2 girls who were from Australia, as soon as camp finished, they flew straight to Hawaii and they spent the full 30 days in Hawaii, which was unreal. It looked amazing on Instagram. It's very painful to watch, actually. A couple of the boys, they flew straight to Las Vegas, and then in Vegas, they then rented a car and they started driving up Route 66, but you actually can't drive all of Route 66, so I think they had to stop eventually. A couple of the girls, they did like all of California, they went to Disneyland, did it all. But whatever you want to do in that time, it's up to you. I've never had any kind of travel plans when going to camp. I kind of always just like wait until I'm out there to see what other people are doing. And 100% you'll make the best friends out at camp, and you can just kind of plan your travels while you're out there with your new friends. And while the job out at camp, it is the best job I've ever had. I absolutely love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. It is a tough job. So getting the time afterwards to kind of relax and let your hair down, and just have that holiday, it's really, really worth it. And it's just so, so fun. So definitely recommend doing some traveling afterwards if you can. But yeah, does anybody have any questions for me at the moment?
Okay, there's one there from Matthew. He's asking how long is the stay in total?
Yeah, so the camps are usually kind of 8 to 10 weeks in length. Each camp will be different. Most are usually kind of 8 weeks in terms of when the kids are there. And then usually you go out to camp a week or two before the kids arrive, just so you kind of have the training. And that's usually when you kind of like make all your friends, kind of have all the fun really. But usually you're out there for kind of at least kind of 9 to 10 weeks.
Great, thank you. Leo has asked, is it a high acceptance rate for applicants?
It is a high acceptance rate. So we'll, on the kind of initial telephone interview, we'll go through everything with yourself. So the main reason that people wouldn't be accepted onto the program would be based more on criminal backgrounds more than anything, obviously, when you're working with children. But, you know, if you've got experience working with children, or if you've got skills, you enjoy any kind of sport or arts and crafts or anything, you know, that would work well in a camp setting, then your odds of getting accepted are really, really high. The best thing is just to be confident, have some questions, and just kind of be positive. You'll be fine.
I was just going to add that, Montana, that within the career service, students can book a one-to-one appointment with the careers consultant. And obviously just, you know, there's quite a lot of anxiety around interviews and telephone calls for opportunities like this. So they can, you know, have a chat and sort of look through their CV to basically discuss and look at how they can present themselves in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Trying to alleviate some of that anxiety.
Yeah, no, definitely. With like, I guess it's always as well important to remember, like, most likely if you were going to have a call on an interview, it would probably be with me anyway. So now you've seen me now. I'm not that scary, I promise. I think maybe it's, you know, once you've got that initial one done anyway, you know, then you're on the program and then you're sorted. And that call will literally only be 10 to 15 minutes maximum. So you know that then after that 10 to 15 minutes, you'll know then you're secured then for the summer. So if you can get through that kind of 10 to 15 minutes, that's a 10 to 15 minutes of stress for 10 weeks of amazing fun.
Excellent. There's another question. When is the application deadline?
So applications do usually close kind of around the end of March time. I do always advise though, kind of get onto the program as soon as you can, just because with camps, camps will kind of be hiring constantly. But as soon as a camp gets like fully hired, they will stop hiring. So the pool of kind of camps will start to get smaller. Doesn't mean we won't be able to get you placed, but it just means the pool will get smaller.
Very good. I suppose as the semester progresses, the assignments, exams, and sort of group work's going to increase as well. So
it's just more stressful as well. The later you apply, the more stress.
very good. I think we've time for another one or two questions, if there's anything. So we'll stay on for another minute and then after that there. But whilst we're giving students time to think of questions, I just want to say, Montana, thank you very much for taking the time today.
Yeah, no worries.
It's obviously a fantastic opportunity and a great way for students to spend their summer. So the question is it necessary to apply for J1 visa again if you have a tourism and visitor visa already?
Yeah, so even if you've ever had like an ESTA or any form of tourism visa to America in the past, or any form of different visa to America, you always would have to apply for a J1 again, because a J1 is just for that 3-month summer working period, and it is specifically for a camp counsellor. So you'll always have to reapply for it.
Great, thank you.
All right.
Okay, Montana, that looks like it's all the questions submitted. Just want to say thanks again. Really appreciate your time and sharing this fantastic opportunity.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank you all so much for kind of taking the time to listen to me. And like I said, if you do have any more questions or anything, you want to ask them in private, you can always just ring the office or email us. Our email is admin@usasummercamp.com. Or if you want to go online and make an application, it's usasummercamp.com.
I think there's a lot of thanks come through from the students, so I obviously appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, no worries at all. You all have a nice day. Bye-bye.
All the best. Bye.